Welcome to this week's End of Days Update, coming to you from Zurich, Switzerland. We had such a great time with Pastor Peter and Vivian. We're old friends we went to Raymond with together 45 years ago. Wow, went straight from doing the End of Days Update last week, straight to the airport. Go to the airport first thing in the morning, we'll be heading back home to Tulsa. We were also at Raymond, Germany as well. We were at the graduation and having a gathering of a conference of the school, the alumni. Man, so cool to see so many people come and so many people hungry. Had a wonderful time there. Just the crowds were really, really good. And we'll be heading back to the States in about 5 hours, and we'll be ready to keep going again. Fall schedule looks very, very big, but boy, we're living when we're getting to watch the Bible come to pass right in front of our eyes. So the End of Days Update, what it's all about is looking at what's happening in Israel each week and shows us that points to the coming of the Lord, because things are so blatant now. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, this would happen, but we still had a lot of time. You're having things happening every single week that are pushing us to go, okay, we got to pay attention. Jesus is just about to come back. So the whole purpose of this is a hustle mentality. It's not a escape theology. It's like when you see the finish line, you run faster. I've never seen a runner look at the finish line and go, I don't know what that is. So with all these things happening right now, it pushes in our face, Jesus is just about to come. So we get into a lot of things, but the things that we get into are things that are blatant. Because I hear people say, well, why would you want to know about the coming of the Lord? In the Old Testament, the children of Issachar had an understanding of the times to know what the children of Israel ought to do, indicating if you don't know what time it is, you won't know what you should do. So why is that such a big deal? You make adjustments. Well, and our tone changes. The tone changes from, laid back to, okay, we're supernaturally intense. I think sometimes the intensity gets mistaken for something else, but really it's just we got to wake up and we got to do the will of God. So major things are happening every single week. A lot of times I may not hit it till the end of the program, but because there is so much, and it probably won't be long, we'll be doing one of these a day. But what the specific things that happened this week that make me just kind of go ballistic are the same things that when the madman Gadara, Jesus walked up and the demons cried out, have you come to torment us before the time? They knew Jesus was on a schedule, but they knew that he was early. So if demons can know the schedule, how much more the church? So with all that we see happening around Israel and knowing the schedule, knowing the signs, it shows us this is it. Because I have people go, well, how can you say this is it? There's way too many all at one time happening that show that it's not something else other than the king's coming back. I mean, you can feel it. Even sinners have a weird feeling going on in them. Even the world knows something's up. They know that there's a change coming. And that change is Jesus of Nazareth is about to come back. Hallelujah. So let's look at what's happened this last week. Boy, this last week has been the major players have been the ceasefire with Hamas and with Israel. Okay, what happens? Hamas broke the ceasefire last night, fired 2 anti-tank missiles into Israeli Defense Forces, and some Israeli Defense Force guys got killed. And then next thing you know, after that, they did some radical firepower in Gaza. You had our vice president come to Israel today, along with some other guys that are supporting him, Kushner, ones that have done some other negotiating before. The problem is the Palestinians don't have one in-house that it looks like it's going to be an elected official to run everything. So how you're making deals and having conversations with a group of people that don't have a group of people. So, and being they shouldn't, because they probably aren't going to keep the next one. They're going to probably get kicked completely out of Gaza. That's what's going on right now with the government of Israel, is a huge fight on, are we going to let them stay? Are we going to take them out? Isn't it amazing that Ariel Sharon's decision to let people go there, this is what it has come to. You can't exchange land for peace. Like all of a sudden right now, it looks like Hamas is getting blessed for killing people in October. And I think that's the craziest thing ever. So all this is coming to pass right in front of our eyes, but it's all pushing to, I think, specifically a setup for the Antichrist. It's going to get so bad, which doesn't look like it get any worse. The aid trucks that came in today, it looked like you need 500 aid trucks. You don't need 1 or 2. But it's going to get so bad that the Antichrist will come on the scene. He'll have the perfect solution, and everybody will take it. I personally think it'll be about money. I'm just guessing. Let's say the Antichrist comes in and says, we're going to give you a new kind of currency. It will forgive all of your debts, and we're going to give you $10 million to put in all of your bank accounts. Well, if every Palestinian got $10 million, every Jewish person got $10 million, you can live close to pretty much anybody if you've got $10 million in the bank. So it's going to have to be a win-win. I use it as an extreme because it's going to have to be a win-win to get everybody to take it. But that's what's coming, as the Bible calls him the man of sin, part Assyrian, part Jew. And he's going to come on the scene and have this perfect idea, and it's going to be a 7-year contract. That's why I was pushing so hard a few weeks ago when we were in Nice, that Macron was pushing this 7-year contract to get Israel to give up land so that the Palestinians would have a statehood. Then after that, the UN voted 147-3. So they're forcing this, and they back down a little bit just because they need a little bit more time. But my friend, you're watching things that the Bible said thousands of years ago happened right in front of your eyes. So it's a wake-up call to us to go, if we can see these nations doing these things, we can see that in our own spirits, in our own hearts, Jesus of Nazareth is just about to come. So you had all kinds of other things happening too. You had the 4 comets that are coming between the earth and the moon this week, even tonight and tomorrow night. Crazy stuff in the heavenlies. You had a swarm, is what the writers said, a swarm of earthquakes underneath Iceland. And then you had, once again, Russia and China making another kind of a bonding agreement where they would have some capital to do what they need to do. It's weird that Russia's having to do that. And think of all the air defense systems that are taking out all of Russia's firepower. And those are the same defenses, basically Israel's doing it, but those are the same ones that all the other nations have. They have Russia's. And it's humiliating for Putin that he can't keep those guys out. So you still have the deal with Zelensky and the Ukraine and with the Russia. The drones were fired at. There's a push on the Ukraine to get those missiles they need, those Tomahawk missiles. That going back and forth is really intriguing to me that it's on the periphery. It looks like it's going to come to the forefront. But with all of this, we are told, Jesus said, lift up your heads, your redemption draws nigh. So in the midst of seeing all these things about war, we talk about there's revival. What happened with America the last few weeks and what's happened around the world, there are pockets of revival breaking out everywhere. So how exciting to have the nations that look like horrible war, but that's what the Bible said they'd look like, but then reciprocal, you got the gospel getting out all over the world. So how wonderful Jesus is getting promoted like never before. I like what Vice President Vance said a couple of weeks ago. He said, I've never said the name Jesus this many times in 2 weeks in my entire life. So it is wonderful to see that. But let's go back to the scriptures, and it'll bring some other things up that we need to cover. And what does the Bible say we'd see right before he comes? Number 1, Israel regathered as a nation. Jerusalem won back. After that, the Hebrew language restored. Then you got the Ethiopian Jews come back. You've got foxes on the Temple Mount. You have fish in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea turned blood red where Sodom and Gomorrah was. That's crazy. On the Day of Atonement, I told the Lord, I said, Lord, you're just showing off now. But that's just radical that he would do this to show us how close we are to his return. You know, you think about that, then you think about after that, the Sea of Galilee turned blood red this last year. I mean, that's crazy. So the ritual baths around the Temple Mount filling up with water, first time in 2,000 years. So it should preach to us that we're living in some very, very, very exciting times. I like how you can go through nature. You got 172 different species of predatory birds. God calls on the fowl of the air to clean the land up after the Ezekiel 38 war. And then 7 years later at the Battle of Armageddon, he calls on the fowl of the air to clean the earth up again. And I mean, you got the cleanup crew in Israel. It doesn't get any more blatant than that. You've got the Palmyra. You got the archway for Baal worship got rebuilt. Russia rebuilt it. Why is that a big deal? It's where the Tower of Babel was. And the Talmud says that's the last sign you'll see before the Messiah comes. So you've got the red heifers that they said the one that was slaughtered, that was a practice run. Come to find out it wasn't a practice run. So they've got basically where the Dome of the Rock is going to be, and on the side of that, you've got sites ready to start having sacrifices. Now how close they are to start doing that, we'll see. Out there in Shiloh, they say they've unearthed an area where the Ark of the Covenant is. We'll see if that happens as well. But man, just seeing the potential of things going on with that red heifer, that should preach to us, because you have the Temple Mount Institute that's ready to start having sacrifices. So it would be one thing if it was one group, but there's many groups doing all these things to get ready for the Messiah to come. Jesus, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So you keep going from there. You got sign after sign after sign. You have blood red moons on Passover and Tabernacles. You have the Bethlehem star, Jupiter, Regulus, Venus, Jupiter a king planet, Regulus a king planet, Venus, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. All three of those came together with the birth of Jesus. Wow, what was that? Think about that. Here, the constellation was Virgo. When it happened this last year, what was the constellation? Leo. He's the lion of the tribe of Judah. So the heavens are preaching Jesus is coming. The earth is preaching Jesus is coming. Everything is preaching that there is a change coming, and that is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is coming back. So get your relationship with Jesus white hot, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. There's one word that is in connection with the rapture of the church. And my friend, we're so soon to be raptured. There's a lot of weird teaching about that. Don't be freaked out about weird teaching. Go with the Bible. I saw a thing even yesterday said, well, the rapture is a new doctrine that came out in the 1800s. No, Enoch was raptured way before 1800. Elijah was raptured way before 1800. So it's not a new doctrine. We're going to be evacuated. So with that, let's go for it. Let's let the last bit of time that we have, let's let it shine for the King. Let's accelerate. Let's be soul winners. Let's be kinder. Let's be gentler. Let's be more peaceful. Get forgiveness out of your heart. Tell your neighbor you're sorry. And watch the Lord use you to get more people saved. So this is it. We're going to see the King so soon. Thanks for watching this week. We'll come back next week, and I know there'll be a bunch more stuff happening. I didn't get into all the stuff about Iran and their nuclear program. A bunch of stuff happened this week, but we ran out of time, so we'll get into it next week. Nothing would surprise me, even Damascus being removed from being a city. I believe that happens before the rapture, so that could be really wild. We're going to wake up one day, get ready for the end of days update, and we'll see Damascus is gone because of all the nuclear stuff that they're still doing. So have a blessed, wonderful week. We'll see you next week. God bless you.
Thanks for joining us today at the End of Days Update. If you'd like to be notified every time there's a new post, just go to the edu at josephmorris.com and subscribe to receive email alerts. If these posts and updates have been a blessing to you, please consider making a one-time donation to help get the message out, or even becoming a monthly partner with Joseph Morris Ministries. Thanks again for tuning in to the EDU, and we'll see you next week.